Mr. Schennach, your report on the progress of the Assembly's monitoring procedure will be discussed on the Assembly session and as a Parliamentary Assembly session. So let's start with the post-monitoring and monitoring states, which is now ongoing.
Yeah, this progress report shows our worries, show progress, but inform also about dangerous situation in our countries. We have 9 countries under the strictly census of monitoring and 4 under post-monitoring. And in this report says also that it's not always that the chairman can say something is finished, but in 2 cases we left Montenegro from the situation of the strictly census of monitoring into the post-monitoring. And in the case of Monaco, we finished. So that's happened maybe all 6-7 years, yeah? But so that's good. And in other cases we see there is a lack of independence of judiciary, whole justice system, very deeply worries about the situation of media, minorities, NGOs, too much people in prison. So you can see, and we give also some recommendations to the countries. For example, the ratifying against domestic violence, against corruption, against money laundering, fulfill the social chapter. These are different fields, and this progress report speaks to every country.
Yeah, and that's why it's important. Let's be more precise that, for example, for post-monitoring countries, if I don't want to make a mistake, but it's Andorra, Belgium, Croatia, and Cyprus?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah?
Post-monitoring.
These are for...
No. When I got the chairmanship, I said we have to change the rules so that we have not a two-class society. That the new countries, the new member states are under monitoring, and the old one, nobody looks to them. So we have every country, also my country, Austria, can come under a kind of monitoring. We tell it country monitoring.
Yeah.
And we decided for this year to take it by alphabet. So it's Andorra, it's Belgium, it's Cyprus, and Croatia. Bulgaria not, because it's under post-monitoring, and Austria I can't because I'm from Austria. So the next president makes the report about Austria and Estonia, for example, or Czech Republic.
So now we can make...
But we have so different fields: strictly monitoring, post-monitoring. Turkey is under post-monitoring. Bulgaria is under post-monitoring. Montenegro is under post-monitoring. But we changed also the system. They are now only 3 years under post-monitoring, and when nothing has happened positive, they fall back under the strictly census of monitoring. Maybe this sounds a little bit technical, but what I want with that, to rise up the pressure to a government, to a country, to change.
And maybe this new perspective of the monitoring committee shows us that of course, we need to focus on some countries which we have more concerns, but it's not a question of only for some countries, especially for all of them, and especially for the human rights and which kind of concerns you mentioned for a common, because maybe in Council of Europe it's difficult to have a common perspective on some issues, but we can mention for common concerns from the, for example, perspective of the monitoring committee on some issues. What are they, to be more precise?
For example, we congratulate Andorra, when we take such an example, that they brought more transparency in economic and fiscal way. But we also applied for them to fulfill Greco and change a lot in your media system, because the media system in Andorra is completely unindependent. Yeah? So we take country by country, but there are other countries where we send 2, 3, or 4 times in the year our rapporteurs, which are going deep in the society and check and visit the prison and visit the NGOs and visit all the stakeholders of a society, go on the regional side, speak with mayors, with people on the street. Yeah? This is the work of our rapporteurs, yeah? And this is very important.
What could you say about the reactions of the countries?
Everybody is fighting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hot debate, so that's why we would like to meet you before debate, but maybe we can meet after that.
No, clear, every country is fighting about 1 word or 2 words. Yeah? They know in principle that what I'm summary is the work of our year, so they know the position. Yeah? But when they read it black on white, so they said, no, we have not a lack of transparency, we have maybe problems with transparency. Yeah? And I said, come on. Yeah? And or we are not, our institutions are not malfunctioning, maybe a little bit dysfunctional. Yeah? So yes, this is what we know, and the other says, no, the minorities for religion rights are in our country. And I said, your country is so big, you have more than 3 religions, and in your constitution are only 3 religions, but you have 20 religion minorities, so how they are protected? Not. So I think this is every country can look into the mirror, and this report is the mirror of a year.
And with these reactions of the countries, if a monitoring committee put the mirror on itself, what could you say about its efficiency? Because you have reports, you try to make a guide, you try to be a guide for countries, but is it really efficient, or because of these reactions it's really difficult to work or to change something in countries?
Yes, our work helps a lot, and our work change a lot. For example, into the last 2 years, in different countries, there's a new constitutional process. There's a new electoral law implementing, so that is a fair election, the right of free election. Yeah? So in that case, when we are writing, you not fulfill Greco against corruption, or you not fulfill the ratification against human trafficking, or persons which are working in private houses. So we set up pressure, and then the next step came that they fulfill and they make the ratification in the country. And when some countries under monitoring make, for example, a very critical law regarding the constitution, I take this law and send it, that is my, as chairman I can do it, to the Venice Commission for a comment. Then I can say, no, this is not a good constitutional law. Let's work together what is necessary. We applied, for example, for that Croatia ratifies the regional and the agreement regarding regional and minority languages. Yeah? And I'm sure they will fulfill within 1 year. It's inside this document.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Schennach, and good luck on your reports.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.